In just hours, a YouTuber who turned himself into a boxing sensation and a legend who's been feared in the ring for decades are going to meet face to face. Yes, Jake Paul, the man everyone loves or loves to hate, is stepping into the ring against none other than Iron Mike Tyson. How did we get here and what can we expect? Stay with me because what's coming next could change the game. So why is everyone talking about this fight? Why the drama? Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, two fighters from completely different worlds, are ready to make history. But it's the story behind it that's pulling us all in. Jake Paul, bold, brash, and completely unfiltered, claims that this fight is his destiny. According to Jake, he saw himself fighting Mike Tyson on screens around the world, sparking the imagination of a new generation of young boxers. But here's where it gets interesting. Jake's vision has taken on a life of its own. Netflix signed up to broadcast the event to its staggering 280 million subscribers, a global audience that could make this one of the most watched boxing events ever. The AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Texas, with around 70,000 fans expected to fill the seats. You might think, all right, it's just another fight, but this is no ordinary matchup. For Jake, it's more than boxing. It's about making a statement, turning this sport into a stage, and creating a legacy that defies the odds. Now let's talk about Mike Tyson. You might be wondering, can Tyson still fight like he used to? That's a good question. Tyson is 58 years old, which some might say puts him at a disadvantage. And he hasn't had a professional fight in 19 years. But don't think for a second that he's lost his edge. This man is a powerhouse. Just a few months back, Tyson had to postpone the fight due to a severe stomach ulcer. He even admitted fearing he might not survive the ordeal. But here he is, back in shape and ready to face Paul. During interviews, Tyson has been breathing heavily, but insists that he's just fine and more than capable of taking on this challenge. Mike has a message for Jake, and for everyone watching, Jake is in a lot of trouble. In the ring is where the party begins. But what does that mean? Is Tyson going all out? Observing his demeanor during fight week, especially after he slapped Jake at the weigh-in, you get the sense that Mike is serious. He's not here to entertain a gimmick. He's here to remind us why he's one of the most feared fighters in boxing history. Now let's shift to Jake Paul. Jake isn't just walking into this fight hoping for a lucky punch. He's been putting in intense training with top heavyweight sparring partners, fighters ranked in the top 25 worldwide. His coach says he's been pushing himself through grueling aerobic and anaerobic training, building both his endurance and explosive power. They've even set him up with bigger, stronger opponents to replicate what he might face against Tyson. Jake himself says he's ready. He's had 6 fights so far, and in his words, he's dominating the competition in his camp. His confidence is on another level. He's out to prove that he's more than a social media star and that he can stand toe-to-toe with a true legend. But it's more than that. This fight isn't an exhibition. It's a professional bout. Every round, every punch, and every second counts because this will go down in the official records for both fighters. Let's get real about why this fight is breaking all the rules. Netflix has changed the game with this broadcast. There's no pay-per-view fee, meaning anyone with a Netflix subscription can tune in for free. This has never happened in boxing history, and it's making waves. Imagine the potential audience, hundreds of millions worldwide. Social media influencers and stars from Netflix's hit shows will be there, hyping it up, sharing every moment live. And it's not just the average fans who are watching. VIP packages for the fight have sold for around $1.5 million, complete with front row seats, suites next to the ring, and exclusive access to Tyson and Paul. This isn't just a fight, it's a full-blown media spectacle. Jake Paul's most valuable promotions have pulled off what some are calling the biggest fight of the century. With Tyson's experience and Jake's confidence, this fight could go either way. Will Jake's youthful energy and relentless confidence be enough to take down a heavyweight icon? Or will Tyson's decades of experience and raw power prove too much for Jake? Tyson has been sharing videos of his intense training, showing off the kind of power that made him feared in the first place. Meanwhile, Jake's team says he's in the best shape of his life, ready to go the distance if that's what it takes. As the countdown ticks down, both fighters seem set on one thing: victory. For Tyson, it's about honoring the sport that made him a legend. For Jake, it's about proving that he belongs on this stage, that he's not just another influencer trying to make a quick buck. We're all set for what could be one of the biggest nights in boxing history. The world is watching, and no matter what happens, this fight will go down as a moment that changed the sport. Will Jake Paul shock the world and take down a living legend? Or will Mike Tyson show Jake and everyone watching that boxing is about more than fame? This fight isn't just about a winner and a loser. It's about legacy, ambition, and the evolution of boxing itself. So, Who are you putting your money on? Is Jake Paul going to silence the doubters and prove himself as the new face of boxing? Or will Mike Tyson's legendary power remind everyone why he's called Iron Mike? Let us know in the comments who you're rooting for, and don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications for all the latest updates.